think we should all be thanking Manchester City, A, for what they've done under him, and B, for where they've got to and what we're about to witness tonight, because this is going to be special.
Well, I admire them. I don't know about thanking them. That's
well said.
But
it's incredible what they serve up time after time. You call them a beautiful team.
Indeed.
The level of consistency is phenomenal.
I'm not going to thank them, though.
And the level of motivation those players maintain to succeed is really unusual with so many egos and so much finance and money behind them in terms of set for life, the trophies they've won. But that's partly down to Pep. I mean, his motivational skills must be... We talked about Jurgen Klopp doing it for years, him and Pep going head to head, but Pep's just carried on. He's able to get more and more out. Some players who are nearing the end, and you think, how does he, you don't hear players moaning too much. They come in, they do a job. People like Laporte comes in. Even Gundogan, people raving about him, rightly so. Brilliant technician, captain sometimes. Bernardo Silva played in midfield last year with Rodri, not Gundogan. He came off the bench to win him the league at the end of the season. I
must admit, Danny, I couldn't believe it when I was up at City against Arsenal, and City won it convincingly, and I was virtually sitting in line behind Guardiola. I could not believe the energy that he puts into it. He literally is never off the players' backs.
Yeah,
it is incredible to watch it.
Well, his desire to succeed and keep winning is admirable, but mine would be the same if I was on £10 million a year, but I'm only kidding. I think this year, if they can win the Champions League, he's kind of done it. I don't know how long he'll want to go on, but if he wins the Champions
League, if he wins it now, he can virtually shut the shop.
Yeah. Then we'll see the motivation.
Yeah.
Then we'll see these players next season. If City win the treble this year, will they kick on, or will it be?
I wonder how it'll impact on him, Simon, tonight. I don't want this to happen, but if they go out,
I think. Well, he's got other jobs to do. He's a winner, so he has to countenance the setback. If that were to be the case, which I don't believe it will be, make sure they win the Premier League. Make sure they win the FA Cup, because they've got an FA Cup against Manchester United, which will not be taken very well if they were to lose that against their major rivals in the same city. He is an inveterate winner. I'm not surprised with the amount of energy he would exude in a situation like that, because that's his function. That's how he operates. If he wins the European Cup this year or the Champions League, the blueprint for him will be I want to win it back to back. That's what you get when you pay what you pay. And what you've got with Guardiola is the real deal. You haven't got an imposter.
Do you think there's an inevitability with any greatness of any leader that there comes a drop where they've done enough?
Well, of course. I mean,
I don't mean with age, because he's so young, really, for a manager.
Again, but you look at, say, for example, why would a snooker player suddenly lose his ability to be able to compete in this way? Physicality isn't required that much in snooker, is it, besides the ability to stay around the table?
Because he falls off.
Because they lose their desire, because something else in their life becomes a priority. Something else becomes something they need to do better or more of, or they've reached the point where they've done enough. But Guardiola, to me, is 51 years of age, right? So he's a young man in managerial terms.
Younger than you?
Younger than me. Might be 52 actually, and so he's still younger than me. So he's still got a way to go, and he's still got things to achieve. Because what's the old get busy living or get busy dying? What's he got to do? He's got to keep going. What else would you do?
Have someone else as well.
That was Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, it was,
very good. Yes, but that's plagiarism from a different source, not from across the bleeding table.
Thanks.
But I think Guardiola is a driven individual, because what I like about him is, throw away the cheap observation about how much he's getting paid, right? But Danny just made there.
I was a joke. Come on.
But you're getting money's worth.
Yeah,
you're getting one of these guys like Klopp, with a few exceptions in a couple of seasons where they've not been it. Klopp will come back. You get your money's worth. You get what you pay for. You get these other guys like Conte who come in and go, well, I'll tell you what, I was good once, don't fancy it here, and I'm going to cause as much mayhem as I possibly can. And to some extent, Jose Mourinho's been a little bit like that in certain environments. But with Guardiola, you pay the top money, you get the top guy. And the problem with football is that too many times you pay top money, don't get from them. The drip down effect of wages on players, you get mediocre players getting fortunes. In this instance, you've got a bona fide, real, pull the veneer back. Underneath the veneer, go deep. There's a winner in every aspect.
Look at what he's on the verge of doing, Danny. If they win this and they win the FA Cup and they're going to win the league, I mean, good God.
Well, if he stays a bit longer, you're going to have to start putting him maybe as the greatest. I mean, he's got to go a little bit to go to beat some of the other, Fergie especially. Yeah. But if he stays another 5 years and wins another couple of Champions League, then he's in the conversation. You could argue he is for the way he's changed football in this league anyway.
We must want the other clubs. The other clubs must compete.
Do you know what I love about
we cannot have a Bundesliga. We cannot have the last 10 titles
We're nearly there.
We're
Easier
close
said
to it.
than done, Simon.
I know
Easier said
it's
than
not.
done.
It's not Man City's problem. It's someone else's problem.
I even love the way he dresses.
You like the way he dresses?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, he's a style icon as well, unlike yourself.
Well, that's good to
Have
hear
you look
from
at yourself?
I didn't say, well, I don't try to be. You do.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.